All right, excellent. Hello world, Pod Layer Proof of Concept Demo Team is back at it again. We're doing our normal Sunday session, so it is going to be tracking the Mojo phenomenon, the human quality phenomenon, and specifically focusing on the methodology that we use to do so. As a part of that, there's a language of cues, and to get that down, we like to do collaging. So right now we're focusing on collaging books of pictures that we can take freeze frames or still shots and point out the cues that we're seeing. Right now, we're doing a special focus, which is on a purification cycle. I think she's coughing. Get some water. But anyway, long story short is that I've been doing purifying from, I think it was the 22K, and I collected all those and I put them in this document here. I thought a good way for us to mind meld on the most current state of the Rosetta Stone of the human soul. So, introductions, and we'll go ahead and just continue on. Of those who are jumping in now, we are continuing general purifications, but there was a heavy focus on sensualist males. All right, I am Nai G. Coach.
I am Shiny Shiley.
I'm Naiji Mitchell.
I am Nai G. Ben.
And this is Nai G. Glenn.
All right, let's do it.
All right. I'm going to jump into the current purifications where we left off last time and keep on going through the updates.
All right. So this is Vaiji Sarah Chase, and this is part of some of the Vaiji ladies I've been seeing in authors. And I'm not sure if she is fiction or nonfiction, but as I mentioned, there is more of a bleed over of the Vaiji and Zenai into the fiction realm than previously suspected, particularly among female authors. Okay, so I think I had her down as a Naiji. She has, you guys can see, the classic Jess Hunter face. Lean, eyes popping out. She has an aware smile, but has quite a bit of control to it. Natural state for frame and poise, so on and so forth. Big difference is in the eyes. And the tensioning around the mouth there, we also mentioned. So in the eyes, it's a little more heavy and direct, although you can see she has a good amount of knee. There's a good amount of brightness for a hunter in both those pics. For me, it was the overall aspect that was easier to grab, that kind of just general more yang tensioning in the facial fascia, and notably in the lips, particularly that upper lip, has a little bit more of a tautness than the Naiji does.
And also you see the pallor, I think, in the skin tone.
And pallor, just those who are new to this, is not meant in the traditional sense where it has a specifically like light-dark shading quality associated with it. In Pod Layer, it's more the character of it. It seems a bit more severe or tight. And so trying to find the right word, pallor seemed to be one that aesthetically people have resonated with. So that's how I mean it in this context.
Okay, Zenai Hector Urbina.
Adam says Zenai.
Zenai, okay.
I think it was probably the Latin, sort of sensuous features.
All right, so he, thing that jumps out with him is the pilot face. So the sort of a large boxy chiseled frame and unifield. So the whole plane of his face is kind of on one signal, one note, one in this case. So what you can see here for him is that he's okay. So here on the left hand side, to tell between Jinai and Zenai is he's putting a lot of emotiveness here on the left hand side picture, kind of showing aggression and boldness, and so he's emoting quite a bit, and it's going. But really, you can see the energy is focused around here in the mouth. He's scrunching. He's
going inward with it too.
Yeah, and inward. So inward, the lower lip is accentuated, and it's really around the mouth area. Even though he's scrunching his nose, that's really the emotiveness is focused here around the mouth.
The lip and cheek plates don't really.
Right, the lip and cheek plates are not moving, and so. That's because he has logic based over values based, in this case the Z, the bracing, and the Jai emoting the eyes look dreamy still though, so not literal, but interpretive. Pilot would see Xeni.
All right, Vijay Andrew Reynolds.
Nijai before.
What before Ni?
Nijai before, yeah, that's what he had before.
So, but he's a Vijay now.
Yeah,
exactly.
he was
So,
a Nijai
to help you
Vijay.
know what to point out for compare and contrast, I was just mentioning what he had him down as.
Yeah, Nijai.
Oh, Nija. I thought you said Nisha. That's why I asked. Okay. Anyways, that's not like me. So, yeah, he can see that she has gather features, like, he's values-based emoting. Emoting goes not quite into the eyes, but it does go readily throughout his face and whatnot, and he's got the bright, playful gatherer eyes, but they are the more yang variety of that, so they don't have that kind of, like, they do have the camera lens quality of the eyes, and just the skin has the more fleshy yang quality than the Ni more yin Gumby quality.
Same thing.
So this is Vijay, Busy Bone. You can see in both pictures he has rather clear-looking eyes, although of course he does have a lot of Nai, as music artists do, which can make him rather tricky as far as distinguishing between Nijai and Vijay. I definitely do see the clear eye quality, and that to me strongly distinguishes between the two.
Same thing.
Nijai.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is Vijay Marty Stewart, another music artist. He was previously read as a Nijai, so yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I feel like he has quite a bit of Nai, actually. He seems to be in both pictures.
Oh, did we lose Glenn?
He froze, and he's gone.
Okay,
Good.
we'll move
Oh,
forward.
he's
He's back.
He's back. Glenn?
Yep.
Sorry about that. Yeah, but as I was saying, like he seems to have like quite a bit of Nai, and I think that can sort of make it seem as though he might be an interpretive, like a Nijai, maybe with lots of Vi, as compared to a Vijay with lots of Nai. And so maybe I think that might have contributed to why he was maybe thought as a Nijai before. But that definitely does look like it's clear in the eyes, and it has that more laser-like quality to it as well. And his overall face definitely seems to have much more of that soft, supple quality that I believe Vijay tend to have more so than the Nijai, which is in comparison they tend to have more of like a ripply effect, more of like a yinner kind of quality to their skin.
Yeah, so exactly. So, they're both technically soft, supple, but with the Vijay, it's a smooth, supple, as compared to what's the word you used, Glenn?
Ripply. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that's a correct word to use, but I think that does maybe.
It's a good dichotomy to the smooth. So they both have soft, supple because they're jazz gatherers, but then one has a smoother quality, which in this case is kind of the more yang of the two, whereas the ripple is the more yin.
Yeah, it's sort of like almost like the thickness of the skin is more with the V alpha or the V mojos, but it's not really the thickness of the skin. It's more like how it all just kind of comes together and kind of gives off that energy that it does.
It doesn't have like an athlete cheek quality, but the V gives it, even instead of Vizai to the Nizai, it gives it, I don't know, like a slightly smoother, taller, a little more plump it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's more like, yeah, like it's got that definitely quality to it. It's not as, I don't know if this is the right word, but like it's not as like droopy in a way, or like not as watery in the way that it kind of looks.
Well,
I'm not sure.
Watery. The knee, all the knee mojos, they're overall basically bobble. Their skin, not just their hands and body, their face also bobbles.
Right.
As compared to shimmy, a little more wiggly or a little more inconsistent. There's a more consistency in the skin sort of tautness with the V.
Exactly. Yeah. It's hard to describe exactly, but definitely I feel like we're tracking the same thing basically. Yeah. So yeah, he's Vijay.
Interesting. It's sort of like um, I guess the consistency of the V seems more like a sort of yin consistency, where it's sort of like every it looks less like it's etched in, but more sort of like it's rounded out, more sort of like it's the consistency is sort of spread evenly. If that makes sense.
I think so.
Right.
Whereas Vi, it's like it looks like there's like fine etches in their skin almost. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Well, here it's more like they're there, like a ripe fruit, as compared to that more gravitas way the vine has.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like a ripe fruit. That's a great way to put it. The knee is it's the same thing, but it's more like there's more of like a psychological kind of like ripeness, I guess. Like because it's new, it's fresh. Like the difference between something being new as an idea versus something being like healthy and like vibrant. And I think that's kind of like the difference between me and V in that way, kind of. I think that's good to describe it. Yeah.
All right, so let's jump on action bronze here real quick. Not a lot to go over here, and then it's another Vijay. I think he was down as a Nijai. The Jez Gather kind of all pops up right away, but like a lot of these more sort of rougher rift Vijay, he tends to have a lot of Nai. So it gives him a bit more of a gravitas and a sleepiness, a bit more of a slinky quality.
Okay, Vijay Michael Render, and he's probably more of the hard.
I think so.
Looks
like it. The way he's got his Jai set both of those.
Yeah, so not giving away much, and having.
He's got like Jai, like don't try nothing.
Right. And because he has more Nai, he has more of a dreamy quality to his eyes too, more cunning, more slinky. And you were going to say, Ben?
Oh yeah, I was going to say he was a big Bernie Sanders advocate during the election. Like he was sort of well known as being like on his side. I don't know, like he rallied with him and so forth.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Got some Vijez kind of like support there.
Nice.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Good plan.
Is Fat Joe also a Vijay?
Nope.
Fat Joe.
Who's that?
He's also a music artist. He did the lean back thing. I don't know. Maybe you don't remember.
I'll let him do it. That joke.
Or anyway, the Vijay KRS-One. Anything really to say?
Yeah, same thing.
It's like the same thing. We've done it a bunch of times. It's like a sleepy bear. A little bit. Yeah.
So same thing here, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Vijay and Nick Fresh.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's my turn.
What's he like?
Okay, so this is Vizy Michael Corradini. He was previously read.
Go ahead, you saying?
He was previously read as a.
Vaiji, I believe. He had this name.
Oh, okay.
I knew it was a
Okay, so right. Yeah, so basically he not a. So the source power was read correctly as well as the polar power, but the two discernment powers were switched, not being Ji and Zai, but instead being Z and Jai. And I think these kinds of errors, or not errors, but like misreads and whatever you like, they tend to be more understandable in the sense that it's hard to sometimes distinguish between those tandem and offside powers, and. But yeah, I mean, it seems to me as though he definitely has the Z use, given that his emoting doesn't seem to be going up into the brim line. He seems to be stopping right, at the midline area. And that smile does look quite unaware. And he does seem to have more of like an anvil-y quality in the cheeks as well. Whereas all the other cues that would normally come with a Vi Alpha, they're all there. So the eyes giving that tighter, more yang quality, concrete, detailed focus, given the Vi being the source power, and also more like they pop out more so than the mouth area, and they're still hooded though, of course, because he's not an objective mojo. The finer features, given that he's a hunter and he's a subjective mojo in general, and the knee. It's harder to see the knee, but I think he does have quite a bit of knee. It gives his eyes a little bit more of a pop to it,
Twinkle,
twinkly kind of quality. But yeah, overall, he's a Vizy, not a Vaiji.
And again, this I don't have as many of this kind of very sort of amiable looking Vaiji, amiable academic. So I have more like Vaiji and Zaini and things like that. So this is kind of different.
Yeah, but the Vaizi's definitely seem to start showing up more once you start getting into like the weaponry areas.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Military, you mean?
Yeah, well, yeah, and in this case, just the nuclear society.
Yeah, Naiji Lisa Donovan, I think she was down as a Jinai, just the broader cheeks. But you can see here in both pictures, she's doing a decent amount of emoting, and it does go into the cheeks and the eyes. Always looking through.
And here we have Vizai, Anya, Tom.
Go for it. You can do it, Shailene.
No, Tom. Tamla Novik. Yeah, so it could be anything. But what she used to be?
Zaibi.
Zaibi. Okay, so
She was a
Zaibi.
little sleepier looking.
Yeah, a little sleepier looking. Also, her she leans back more than some other Vizai, so using more of her subjective powers, but it still has the underwater kind of quality here as she's going to her subjective powers, and here in the 1,000-yard stare. And let's see, and she has more the emoting, the G is going up to the midline. It's not just around the mouth. She has more of that Cheshire cat look and brightness of the eyes, brighter eyes than the Zaibi would.
She holds her smile a little stiffer than some of the Vizai. Me and Mitchell covered quite a few of them. And the Vizai ladies, even though they're athletes and don't necessarily do like social things for a living, they tend to be a little more bammy with their smile. Like, you know what I mean? When they throw it, they know they're throwing it out there. She looks a little hesitant with her G. That makes sense.
Yeah, interesting.
Not bad, just a little different.
She's got those cheeks too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, Zaini Susan Anton.
Down to Jaini.
Yeah, she's been around quite a bit. She's an old sample. She's been around for a while. I think she was like a Nizai at one point even. So
because I was seeing the
yeah, you were seeing that too.
And I didn't realize until you guys know, I guess maybe not too long ago, when I was starting to see like a Taylor Swift angle, and there are some Zaini in there. I just didn't consider it. But I kept going back and forth between those two.
That's fascinating. There's the more Zaini music artists now. Even Weird Al, if you're discussing.
Yeah.
But anyway, in her case, well, she is using, to distinguish from Jaini, she's using Ji. So she does actually have the long tower features, the mouth energy. You can definitely see in both pictures, always the energy on the mouth, not the eyes, and a unifilled face. But her emoting is not actually unaware. It's Ji aware. She's like kind of setting her mouth in both pictures for the audience, trying to move you, like setting an expression. And it's not like resonating, and it doesn't go throughout her face. It stays right around the mouth area.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Ben, this one's yours.
Oh yeah. So she was read as Nijai. So we haven't done Vijay female. Vijay Josephine Baker. Here, yeah, I mean, her eyes, she definitely has good game and good energy, good eye development. And also her makeup can be, I mean, a little bit tricky as far as like distinguishing what's going on in the eyes. I know that in a lot of samples, the makeup can be a little bit distracting. For her, like, I could definitely, I can definitely see how she could be confused for a Nijai. But definitely when I look closely at the eyes, I do see that there's that clear signal. Her cheeks also, they do look a little bit, the cheeks, I mean, it's not like really obvious, but for me, but I can definitely see distinct fleshiness to them.
Right.
Especially when I look like at the sides of the mouth, like that's where the distinct, there's more like contrast. I guess it's easier to see fleshiness.
Yeah, the cheeks. I don't mean to cut in or anything, but the cheeks seem to like have more of like a voluptuous kind of quality to them as compared to the knee. I think I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something to it because they look very like.
I don't know if the word is voluptuous. It might be a good word too. The one that comes to mind, maybe is what you're talking about, Glenn. Touchable. These seem more touchable.
More tangible.
It looks like it's calling out to be touched more.
Or like pinched.
I think it's just as a result of the fact that it's smooth, and so smooth is there's no like obstructions or signals that are interrupting that.
I've said myself, Mace, like that. This is
The AdSense do sing about that a lot in their songs.
I get a more physical kind of signal off of the V fleshy versus the knee Gumby. The knee Gumby kind of tickles me a bit more psychologically.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't know if maybe just me, like the way they do their makeup, they do their clothes, and the way kind of style in general. It seems to
It accentuates it even more.
the physical attributes of what things looked at.
Right.
But that means for everyone. That's just for me. Basically, I'm interested in what Charlene says on that one because actually I have V and makes the V talking to the V. How do you read it being?
Yeah, I mean,
So
it looks. I can see what you're saying. It looks like viscerally appealing because there's no obstructions. It's clear. It's smooth. It's. It seems like there and nothing. Like there's, because there's the shy smile, and then there's just like smooth.
There's no imperfections in a way, like what you're saying?
And nothing like because the
there's
knee,
like
I
conversation
think,
distraction.
yeah. The second conversation adds barriers, I guess,
Distraction.
more distraction. So it's not something that's just like, viscerally just a clear signal of this is appealing, this is, whatever that shy is,
Right.
or being is sending off.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like it just feels very much so like it's there in the present moment, and I understand me as well, but it's like physically there in the present moment. It's like it concretely there in the present moment. Whereas me is like that. It's like in the present moment, but it's more like ideas and potentiality. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's
sort of like
concretely there in the present moment.
Like I get the impression that a V alpha would really want to make sure that, like if they have like a diamond or like a pearl that they're wearing, that it's nicely shined up and it really glistens and it like you're able to see the value of it as the object that it is, the sort of qualia that it gives off as in the physical kind of sense. So I feel like that's
because like for example, see with like the shy V, like Brooke Candy, she's got like a lot of nigh. So a lot of these AdSense, for example, have a lot of nigh. And so she puts together these very interesting ideas, but there's still to me like this pulsing physicality that is there, even when there is that strong amount of modulation nigh behind it.
Yeah, the Nijai are different in that sense. They're more focused on the sort of like imaginative playing of like, ooh, look at these ideas and see how they all come together. And that's kind of like how they play. But yeah.
I think it's interesting also just that we have a Vijay spy, because I think that makes sense in a way with all the Vaishi politicians.
It does.
Yeah, it makes sense that it would be something that she would find inspiring,
And they're effective at being able to.
Yeah.
We've seen those like Vijay politics ladies, like Bernie Sanders' wife, and tons of others that are just.
I think the spy thing may have like gotten, because I think there was another.
That did.
Yeah, there was that one Nijai that was a spy, right? And so I think you're like, oh, maybe spies are all Nijai, right? Kind of. I definitely thought that way.
Which is silly.
Yeah.
All right, who's up?
It's Ben's turn?
I think Glenn just put on that one.
Oh, okay. Ben, no, actually, yeah, you did that last one, so this one's mine. So this is Jivi Billy Blanks, right, the creator of Taibo. So he was... Jinai? Okay, all right. Okay, so yeah, I mean, for him, he's in the fitness bubble, so that I think may have influenced him being updated to Jiva because we've been doing a lot of Jiva work, me and Coach, and so instead of the Nai that I think would come with the G Nai and the V, he's got more of the Vi quality, and I think that makes a lot of sense. His eyes, they I feel like I'm able to see the Vi quite a bit, but I feel like I'm seeing the knee quite a bit as well too.
He does
Which
seem to raise a lot of knee. I was thinking that too.
yeah, the Vi is there as well. It gives his overall look more of like that pallor kind of quality, I think, a little bit. And his eyes also have, as well as his mouth and his cheeks and all the lines on his face, they seem to have more of like that tightness quality to them. But the knee, I think he's bringing in quite a bit too. And I think naturally, because he's also an objective, so he would naturally find the objective environment more natural state for him as compared to the internal withdrawn kind of environment. So yeah, the knee I'm able to see quite a bit in the eyes. It gives him more of like a shine, in a twinkle, like you said, I think, Coach. And so yeah, and the smile. The smile. I just want to say one thing. The smile. He has that big smile, that G alpha smile, but you can tell it's got a little bit more of that tighter quality to it, which the Vi brings to it, as compared to the Nai, which gives it more of a liquidy quality to the smile, more of like a fuller kind of. I don't know. It's not fuller is maybe not the right word to use, but it does something like that.
Like the sails are a little looser, so to speak. But
Yeah.
it seems a lot easier now to get after in the fitness bubble some.
Right, I think like slack is the best word, right? Like there's more slack to the.
Well, slack tends to do with more tensioning, and I guess it is a little less slack, but usually the distinction between the adaptive and the directive. But yeah, between the interpretive and the literal within those compounds, I think there is probably a slack difference too.
Yeah, we talked about the difference in that shade of consciousness before in the mouth. That whole shade of consciousness has like even like the Ziny and the Knee's eye have a certain like Vi Tyser smile, and the ad prax have a certain looseness in a sense.
Right.
Yeah, it's still directive. It's not like Jai Slackmouth,
Right.
Slackjaw, but there is a slackness that kind of tends to be brought in by any sort of power, like interpretives versus literal, logic-based versus values-based. There is going to obviously be that. The slack and the way in which it kind of comes off is always going to be different depending on whether or not it's interpretive versus literal, directive versus adaptive. But it is always that sort of like, like more yang versus yin. So, yeah.
He's Ziny, Petulia Clark, another one of those music artist ones. She's one that I've gone between Nizai and Shiny. So pretty much everything that Mitchell said, the one before, applies here. You can see that the energy is in the mouth area, but it is aware. The cheeks aren't moving for being not a Shiny. And then for Nizai, there's more elongation and more of a calm, sort of cool, gauzy quality. Bam.
Jivy Bobby Brown, I think, was he down as Naishi before?
He was.
All right, so he is Jivy that has a lot of Nai, gives him a more cunning, slinky quality.
Feral.
Yeah, but not. But really, if you look at the energy, though, it's more holding his ground and giving no quarter. But still, it's kind of, if not at ease, putting you at ease, because he's like the harder. Here on the right hand side, it is like more calming. It's kind of there. It's not pushing, like you would see a hunter naturally do. And what else? The emotiveness also goes all the way up into his eyes as well, and you see like a whole full-faced poignancy in his face. Yeah, the lower lip, you can see that more energy there with the Jai.
Jai V. Kevin Eubanks. Was he 92?
No, I actually had him down as an Nishai.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Nishai in band leaders, because he's a band leader, so.
Interesting. Yeah. So I guess, yeah, like, held the picture on the right, you can see there's so much emotion. Yeah, I can see you can see that it's. Should I actually? Am I good as far as pointing stuff out though?
What's that, Mitchell?
Am I good as far as pointing stuff out though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Because we already covered the.
Yeah, I mean, it depends if we want to like do it again. If it was different based on where like it was before, if that makes sense.
He was.
But,
Did we do a Shive in Nishai before?
I don't think so. But I.
Oh,
Oh,
we
yeah.
made a contrast
Yeah.
earlier. That's good.
Oh yeah, that's true. We didn't do that contrast, have we? That's a good point. All right.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that kind of started. So basically, I was saying, as I was implying with the picture on the right, like, yeah, that's shy. That's like authentic emoting, but it's like way too much for any shy. Like going over his like entire face, well into the eyes. And you can see in both pictures, even on the left. I mean, he's doing like a smile there, and it definitely goes all the way up the face, into the eyes. And he says his eyes are actually open. In the left picture, you can see that they are the laser quality, not the dancing. They're bright, but it's like more of a camera lens quality.
It kind of makes me wonder about Paul Schaefer.
Yeah, and his face is long.
He still seems niche guy to me, but just know I did pull him. I pulled him like twice.
Right.
I may pull him again when I do the music bubble again, but so far I haven't moved him.
These band leaders, they're all bald, it seems.
He's another one who's down to niche guy.
All right. Shy V, Dave Haywood.
Same thing, basically. Yeah. Good.
Vaiji Nail Horan.
Niall.
So,
Nice.
oh, he was a producer as Naiji. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, they're both jazz hunters, so there's going to be a lot of parallels. But the difference is that unlike the Naiji, he's got the Vi going on quite a bit, and that gives his eyes more of that yang prepared quality to them. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like Hayden Christensen in a way, maybe. Not too much, but you know, the same kind of energy because they're both Vaiji. The more tighter in the mouth area as well as the eyes, they also tend to have more of that yang kind of pinpointed look to them. Even on the picture on the right, he's trying to use more knee, but it still looks very or Vi, given that it's kind of like distant, but it's distant in a kind of like looking at a detail kind of way, kind of manner. So yeah, he's a Vaiji, Neil Horan.
Jaibi, Dietrich Hayden, same thing, face is about a brown. You can see all the same kind of stuff. Morning's brown normally.
Baiji Merle Haggard. Okay, so the adjustment effect. More tightness in his mouth. Yeah.
It makes me wonder about Frank Sinatra.
I remember her too.
Yeah, I've looked at him again. So far, he still seems 9G, but I'll keep looking.
Right, I'm getting a lot of riffs now. Just like,
Yeah.
I wonder what this guy. I wonder what that guy.
That's good. Purification does. It loosens you up, and I find that usually when I start purifying, a lot of times more than the ones I already pulled out because I looked at them visibly, and I thought maybe I should look at them more. As I do them, other ones will just percolate up my psyche, like, you should probably check on this too.
Right, because they're interrelated in a way, right? Yeah.
Sure. Who's got this one? Who's down to 9G?
This I did
Is this
Merle,
Mitchell?
so it'd be Mitchell.
Yeah, I was just asking, what was she read as?
9G.
IG. Okay, interesting. So Zaini Grace Jones, she's another tiny music artist. The difference between Naiji, well, she has a long face, with subjective, common, more elongated features, but it's unifield. Like, she's not really. I mean, she's doing like no emoting in the pictures, and obviously a lot of Naiji do a lot of stone face, but it doesn't really look like that. Her whole energy just has more of this quality, not of like piercing, but of like staunchly holding space. I don't know how to describe it better than that.
Yeah.
But it feels like that to me. Like, she seems very, very steady to me. Not as much piercing. And then, you know, mouth, a lot of mouth energy, even though she's moving her mouth very, very little, if at all.
Yeah. Making good use of that stone face.
Okay, cool. So this is a Zhai V female. What was she read as?
Shiny.
Cool. Okay, yeah. So I can definitely
What's her
see.
name?
Oh right, yeah. Zhai V Marty Irwin McGuire. So yeah, I can definitely see Zhai Alpha, the Zhai unaware emoting, going all the way throughout the face. The eyes are a little tricky. Again, I think in a lot of like the makeup and the eyes, like for me personally, just can be rather challenging. But I do definitely see the cunning eye and the V laser in the eyes. It definitely looks less magical to me than I would see, for example, a Xiaomi. It doesn't really feel like Adrom energy is saying me when I look at her. It feels a little bit more concrete and first conversation.
Yep.
All right, so this is Jivy Natalie Maines,
Same
I
here.
believe. Same thing, so Jaini. Yeah, I mean, a lot like what Ben was saying, more of the visceral quality as compared to the knee, which brings in more of that second conversation, brings in more of that imaginative kind of look to it, the more yinness in the way in which the Jai kind of comes out even as well. The skin definitely has more of that soft, supple quality to it. Not so much Gumby in the face. Other than that, really not too much else to say. Lots of good Nye, I think.
Yep.
And she has that more feral quality to her. Yeah.
Ziny, Avril Lavigne. She's down as a Nizai. Now that I was looking for, it's pretty obvious. You can see she has the greater elongation of the face than the
Very.
Gather would have, and the moting is more localized, like the small on the left.
That makes sense.
That's cool. Yeah.
A little
I
softer and gauzier.
It makes sense given, like, for example, Taylor Swift was turned over as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, she does have that kind of like.
Yeah.
I thought maybe she was like a Nizai with a more elongated face, but Ziny actually makes a lot more sense. Actually, it does.
Yeah.
The math is starting to like really show its corners as far as like
Yeah.
what is actually like you're really starting to pick up on the patterns and like being able to note like this is something that only really comes out when you're looking at a gather, and the distinctions are becoming more clear. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Totally. I can't wait for the Salesforce program to be up and running so you can play with that because, agreed, you really kind of know, for example, like say what a Shiny is when you compare it to the Jai V to a Nijai to, you know what I mean, a G.
Yeah.
And then that you're like, it's similar but different. And right there, that's where you find the edges of what its essence are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's only going to get more and more compounded, right? Like the more samples you see, the more the connections are going to be starting to get made, and then eventually it's going to get to a point where like you're going to be able to really crystallize and everything more and more rapidly, because the patterns are going to become more and more clear. So
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, they're subtle, but like I said, the more those subtleties are layered in, that the layering of subtleties makes it more clear, more distinct, easy to pick out.
Yeah.
And this is Jaivi Kenan. So is this a similar, was he
Yeah,
Nisha?
94.
Naiji, okay. Similar, more slinky, cunning, but emotiveness goes up into his eyes and emphasis on the lower lip for Jai.
You know, the kind of motif that I think came to mind for me actually there, Coach, was like a puzzle. When you start a puzzle, it's like hard, right? Because you don't know what you're doing. You kind of have to figure out everything out as you go, and then as you near the end, it becomes more and more faster. You start putting in the pieces.
Yeah.
You anticipate where to put them because there's less of them that are like like
There's fewer of them that are out and more of them that are in. The ones that are in can be used to riff the ones that are out.
Exactly. Yeah, that's cool.
This guy is a sort of Epicurean kind of personality. So he's a bit heavier, a bit more bloated. And so I thought he was a gatherer. I'd actually go back and forth between Nijai and Vijay, trying to figure out which gatherer he was.
Yeah. It's just a more gluttonous 5G, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, then Vaiji Robin Leach. So yeah, he's not Gather. I mean, he does have like a heavy sort of face, but his eyes, like they're really like zeroing in more like a hunter. Like particularly like like that look on the right where he's like one eye shut. He's like examining you as if through like a microscope or something. You know, they don't look playful really. They look more assessing.
Kind of riffs a little bit like Christopher Hitchens.
Yes.
A little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
totally. That's how I got him. So cool. Yes, that's exactly how I got him. That's funny.
And he had that a little bit Epicurean sort of thing too, a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
Like alcoholism and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, and then also besides just Gathers, he has G. So his G is a little I don't know. It looks like I don't know how to describe it, but like slowish. It's hard to see because he's not moving, but like I don't know.
I get what you're saying,
It's a little bit like dull.
It looks like Hitchens that way, and that he's a bit reserved about leaning his heat in, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like it's not resonating though, like Shy does. Like you can really definitely especially see down the left.
It's kind of almost like Faux Zen, but it's just like a slower hunter, you know? I mean, like that's kind of like what I'm getting.
Yeah, and he really looks like he's just slowly assessing you. You know, I mean, it's kind of
it's very steady, like slow assessing it.
Nice.
Not drinking.
All right, so this would be Glenn.
Oh, is this Ben?
Oh
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's Ben.
So Ben, this is yours. She was down as a Vijay.
Okay, cool. So Jai V.
Kind of really bright. Is what did it? But.
Yeah, definitely. So Jai V. Emily Osmond. Yeah, so her eyes definitely do look bright. Although in the picture on the left, I think it's easier to see me, or it's easier for me to see the longness of the face that subjectives tend to have. It definitely looks more unifield to me. And the picture on the right, I still can see it. It's a little bit harder to see, but I still think I'm seeing the unifield energy. And definitely what I am seeing in both pictures very clearly is the brightness signal isn't completely dominating the eyes. Like, I mean, even though there is a lot of brightness, it's not like basically, it's not like the thing that pops out to me like the most. Even when I look around the eye area, I still see that there's other stuff going on. So
I think another thing to point out is that there's, I think, quite a few like Ziny as well as like other towers, I think, that have more of like a triangular shaped face where the forehead is a little bit more wider, but then it comes down into a more like a finer featured like chin there. And that can sometimes maybe throw you off as like, oh, that must be like a gatherer because they have the wider face. But it's not technically the same. There's a little bit of a distinction. I know that there's a lot of female Ziny that have been misread as like a Nijai, because that's, I think, what was being thought or like being tracked on, I think.
Yeah. But
yeah, the forehead definitely pops out to me as like, oh, that's a little bit exaggerated. It kind of makes you think, oh, this person might be a gatherer, but then it gets really like finer featured in the chin and even in the mouth area, I think, which pops out more than the eyes.
About, like the Ziny do have like sometimes like in the STEM fields have these like gigantic foreheads.
he was down as a Zenai.
Okay, so yeah, this is Zevi Mark McGuire.
He's a player and then became a coach. And a lot of coaches are Zenai, for example, but in baseball the demographic changed a little bit.
Right. Okay, so one thing that stands out to me right off the bat is that his eyes, they have more of that. They're definitely objective. They definitely have that more. They have the unhooded quality to them, but they have that pinpointedness, which is like really like dead on, kind of like focused, honing in, locked on kind of look to it. You're looking at exactly the thing that is being meant to be looked at, not in a V way, but in a Vi way. So it's more like they're looking at their worldviews directly, like the details within it, as compared to the Nai, which would be more a little bit more dreamlike, a little bit more imaginative in the way that it comes across, as well as his overall, like face and everything, his smile and everything has more of that, the yangness given the Vi, and the knee. The knee is also noticeable too, actually, especially on the one on the left. He's bringing in quite a bit of that up energy that the knee brings. One on the right, I feel like he's more serious though. He's bringing more of the Vi, and he's got more of the Z anvil going on as well, as compared to the more Jai that he's bringing in the picture on the left. So yeah, Z Vi.
I think
The
that
Vi seems to make it look like he's looking at data points on a HUD screen, as opposed to basically looking at a more like visionary or imaginative HUD screen.
Yeah.
Colleen, want to jump in? Actually, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that actually on the right-hand side, the reason why he's like so serious-faced is because that's during the deposition where he was being deposed by the government on, being accused of having taken steroids. So that's him. His Jai is in major defense mode at that point.
Well, I see. That's a good distinction to make, because I thought that he was maybe using quite a bit of Z there, but his Jai is definitely popping out there with the way that his mouth is doing that unaware quality look to it, right?
Well, he's got a Z on because he has to present himself, but the Jai is like, don't mess up.
Yeah, it's sort of like he's trying to make it so he's not getting too emotional, but he actually is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, back to control himself.
Yeah, this is interesting.
All right, Vaiji JP Rosenbaum. I had him down as a Vijay. I saw Vijez, and he just looked so perky. And they had some other Vijay on there, but I believe this is actually a very amiable, happy-go-lucky, at least outwardly, Vaiji.
An interesting look.
So distinguishing is you see he has a lot of brightness in the eyes, but it still overall is pinched more than it is, and the elongation. And even though he has like an overall up energy, the piercingness of the eyes is always coming through. Even these very happy pictures, like happy, up, piercing.
Mm-hmm. It's true. So interesting. Jai V. Kimberly Perry. What was she down as before?
I think Vijay.
Vijay. Okay, so again, so she has a more rounded face, perhaps, than some other Jai V on the onset.
Actually came back and replaced the pictures. I think some pictures were more rounded. And I tried to find ones where it's a little easier to see the elongation.
Right. So she has, that the Jai unaware and the laser eyes that all AdSense have that pop out, but you can tell if you start looking into it that her eyes, although laser, they have a good amount of energy. They're more removed. They seem more subjective, and there's more energy a little further away. Yeah, that's
gauzy, right?
Yeah, gauzy, and the mouth has more energy. That's the most. If you look at the face, that's what has the most energy. And it's going, when she smiles, it's going into the eyes, even though she has, a good amount of Nai and V and Nai. So it does have a good amount of energy that's coming off the eyes. Still, the smile and the emotive expression going into the eyes, that has a lot of energy. Also, the tone, overall tone is this gauzy, poignant energy, calming energy. That's the main signal, being a tower, Jai Tower.
What was she?
I think same thing.
Yeah, so Ivy, Kelly, Pickler. Same thing. It's got those bright the eyes, but they're not.
Yeah.
Okay. Skipped.
Well,
I
think we've done
no reason
that
to rehash
one. Yeah.
stuff.
Right, okay. She kind of reminded me a little bit of Frankie Sanford, I felt like. So I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
So, what was this guy read as?
I think he's down as a Nijai.
Okay, so similar thing as before. I think we've done a Jai V that's read as Nijai. Jai V Ernest Pugh.
Same thing.
Oh,
She was another Dick's Chicks is down as a Shiny.
she's not. Oh, okay. I thought she was related to. Okay, so this is Jivy Emily Irwin Robison. So yeah, she's a Jivy, and she was previously read as a what?
Shiny.
Jiny. Okay, so yeah. Funny thing, she reminds me quite a bit of that one other Nai actress with the big smile. What's her name? Oh,
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts.
yeah, kind of. I thought that was.
Actually, like a little
Alanis Morissette.
Lance Morissette, and also oh gosh, the name but Netflix wife. Gosh,
Oh, Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that does make sense.
Are all these One Direction guys Vaiji?
Yes, they are.
Oh my gosh.
Same thing as the other one from One Direction.
The other one Direction. Jivy.
Direction.
I'd actually gone back and forth between Naiji and Zai V at one point. But
Oh, okay.
Because she has a long face and the way that she holds her Z can sometimes maybe be mistaken for Zai, steeliness, because that long sheerness. But yeah, here when she emotes, it goes into the eyes. So it's clear.
down as a
G9. All right. G Vi James Tahuna. I think we've done that before.
There's one.
So Shiny Howard Short. What was he as before?
I kept going. Well, Naiji, and then I kept pulling him to see if it was a knee shot. I'm like, no, he's subjective. And I put him back. I'm like, his eyes look dancing. I pull him like, no, he's subjective. I put him back. And I just didn't.
Oh, so back and forth between the Nijaz, it looks like.
Shiny composer. That's interesting.
Say again.
Oh, back and forth between the Nijaz, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, he definitely stands out to me now, but I can see how he could be kind of tricky because his eyes are like a lot of Shiny, they have like certain qualities that you see a lot in Nijai. Like, to me, like a lot of the physicality of his face, I've seen a lot of Nijai who have similar physicality, but at the same time, his face is really long, and it definitely very distinctly looks subjective in the eyes. So it's just a matter of like resolving that seeming conflict that isn't really a conflict. No, I mean it's actually they actually both apply, and then you arrive at, as a result, you arrive at with some other qualification, you arrive at Shiny, seeing the long shy tower face with the knee dancing.
Yeah, because like you don't want to necessarily use their role or what their job is as a way to read them, but that can throw you off because it can weigh on you because they're not a lot of Shiny film composers that I know of, right? Statistically speaking, it's more.
There are Shiny who have like some very interesting Shiny music artists who do like electronic stuff that isn't really. I could see how they would be good composers.
Yeah.
Gimmick and Heath and Azam Ali.
Yeah, but there are, so you can't discount that.
Badass right there.
Yep.
All right, this is Vaiji Harry Styles again. Another Vaiji that was previously read as a Naiji. So yeah, he's definitely a Vaiji though, and I can definitely see how he's a Vaiji. Yeah.
Essentially, see the Vaiji though, like this really kind of like the hair thrown all around. You know what I mean? Disheveled.
Yeah, they're trying to make themselves appear more like Naiji, but it's kind of like you're
so many
Vaiji.
pop stars have been Naiji. Yeah.
Aren't Jivi Hines Ward down as a G9, but now he's pretty obvious after the fitness bubble.
All right, so Jaibi for Williams, he was down as what Naiji. Okay, so again, that same similar prototype, a lot of Nai, and holds his face still. Still, you can see the poignancy.
He's down Naiji.
Interesting. Vaiji Dwight Yoakum. And you can do this one, or are we?
Another Vaiji Naiji artist, music artist thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Unless there's like some kind of sort of like specific cue or something that's like interesting, then you can like talk about that.
Who's next?
Me, I believe. So we haven't done a Vaiji actor that was.
No.
What was this guy? Rez? I'm guessing a Naiji or.
Yep.
Okay. So because it's an actor, this guy he kind of reminds me of like some of the One Direction dudes actually. I can definitely see, he's got very good knee development as actors and music artists often do who are Vaiji. And in certain ways they can sort of do things like stylistically that other Naiji do because he's kind of got a little bit of a he's a little bit ungroomed a little bit. I mean, you can see like his not perfectly cleanly shaven. His hair's a little messy, so that can be a little, and also along with a good knee that can make you on a Vaiji that can make you think that maybe he's Naiji. But I do see still see the concern in the eyes, the more concrete qualities of the eyes.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of like Paul Walker, a little bit.
Maybe there's like a disheveled sort of look.
Right, so this is Jaivi Raymond Usher. He was previously read as a Naiji, I believe. So yeah, same thing with like all the other Jaivi that were misread as Naiji, like Pharrell. Definitely makes a lot more sense now that he's a Jaivi, though. Now the emoting goes all the way up, poignancy, and he's got that slick game to him, and you kind of associate that kind of qualities with Naiji, but like a wizard, a warm wizard, kind of doing that thing. But no, it's actually a Jaivi, and that's
Cool.
quite
It's interesting listening to his songs and knowing he's a Jaivi now. Changes like my perspective of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shivai, Fabiano, Maldonado, Ginai. Now.
Ivy J. Smooth
Yeah, it's the same thing.
and Naiji. Yeah. All right.
Jaivi Hubert Semlin.
Same thing, yeah.
Sure.
Naiji. Okay.
Yeah, same thing here too.
So Jaivi sinking.
Okay. Naiji. Yeah.
Vijay Lang Lang, Nijai, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Right, so we already covered that quite a bit. He's got more of the fleshy qualities. Yeah,
Laser eyes.
laser eyes.
Zinai Izzy Suddy, she was down as a Nizai. That's just because she's kind of very upbeat energy, but
So the mouth is kind
yeah,
of
pretty wide mouth. But that is noticeably localized and also unaware. The expression of both pictures is sort of expectant and not really pushing or knowing what's doing there, and more a forward energy. And now that I've done more in the comedy bubble, the Zenai comedian is actually very prevalent in females.
Okay, here's Jaivi Charlie Fox. I think, yeah, Naiji, Jaivi, difference, yeah.
She was down as Jaini.
My turn?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember her. She was on a quiz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely remember her too.
I think I guess like Naishi for. So I was sort of like in the Naishi shiny. She's a Ziny. Anna Kelby. Ziny Anna Kelby. So she does have that calming energy, but it's like dreamy calming. She's a very dreamy riff, I think, and it's cool. So the mouth is not. It's kind of impassive in a way because she's a tower, but it has a lot of energy on the mouth, as we already saw with the shiny. But it's not like a shy expectant. Like she's not really doing motive expression, coming up the face, and even her eyes, like the way they look. Like I talked about that before. Sometimes you can see a little bit of the discernments in the eyes. Like they look a little more like G assessing you a little bit in a way. I don't know.
She's a little chillier.
Yeah, and chillier.
Yeah, it's
And chilly, like chillier in like a
She has
layer.
quite a more prominent lower lip, which can throw you off.
Yeah, she does have a very prominent lower lip. That's a good
The
point.
upper lip actually has more energy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Something that it's a nuance, like adds a higher difficulty modifier.
The upper, I like Melly in the wire.
I think the fact that her upper lip is moving so little that it causes her bottom lip to kind of exaggerate in the way that it looks in a way.
Yeah. Also,
I don't know.
just proportionally, it's just
Right, it's just so much more bigger, and the top lip is so much more thinner. It's just like, yeah.
It seems like the Zai like blocking a lot of that mauve energy. It sort of looks like it's being like the G is sort of being deflected a little bit. Like because the Zai goes all the way down to the lip line. The upper lip doesn't have like the G doesn't go too far into the upper lip such that you're able to such that the G is localized.
Yeah, the Zai definitely.
The mouth, the upper lip can sort of look a little bit more like a little more like sort of even and dispassionate because of how much Zai is in the cheeks and so forth.
Yep.
It's very, very calming.
Mm-hmm.
I like her energy.
And I think this one's fine. So this is Jivy Otis Redding.
Yep. Shiny Thorn.
Same. Cool. Shiny
That
idea
was-
difference.
And this is Jivy Bobby Day, another Jivy that was misread as a Naiji.
Baiji Chesney Hawks down as an IG. He's on those no direction IG.
Yeah.
Jivy J. Hawkins, another Jivy who was misread as an IG for same reasons we mentioned above.
Alright. Jivy Lidorsi. I'm assuming he's one we've already handled.
Yeah, also
Kind of riffs me of Pharrell a little bit.
yeah, a little bit, sure.
Jivy and Joe Tex.
Also misread as a Naiji before.
Right. Oh, okay. So Jivy Rick James, bitch. Right. So yeah, he's another Jivy misread as a Naiji, I believe. Right? Naiji.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
She's a super freak. Yeah.
Did a whole
thing.
skits on him.
Jivy Janie Lane, I actually had him down as a G9. I saw G Alpha and I saw the V, and there are some G9 in the kind of like, the airband rocker thing. So I don't know if he might be the only one I have. He's a kind of like big hair rocker. We have a lot of R&B crooners, Jivy, but actually I don't know of another one of these.
So you saw Jez Alpha and V and I.
Yeah. But he's distinguished though. You see the V in the eyes, that is true, but the mouth has the jive. Both of them have rather expectant, sort of innocent quality. Which kind of, he has like innocent quality for being like, a hedonistic rocker.
Yes, it works.
That's as of like the innocent hedonistic. Probably a lot of them.
Not that V means you're gonna be hedonistic, but yeah, okay.
Oh, the metal band, kind of like wild.
Yeah, that kind of wild child, kind of thing.
Wait, let's do that too.
Exactly. Ziny Maggie McNeil, what was she read as before?
I believe shiny.
Shiny? Okay, so she again, has a towery, expectant sort of look, but it's more aware. Even though she has a thick lower lip, there's more energy on the upper lip, and when she's emoting here, it's not really moving her cheek, and then
Yeah, it's like a big island. It just doesn't move.
around the mouth. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, that's interesting.
She biracial platinum, or was she?
Down as a shade. She's down as an east eye.
Interesting. Okay, that probably is new. So okay. Okay, so you see that she has those powers, but right away you can see the emoting going out like totally through the face. Like it really goes right up into the eyes and the left there. And even on the right, the way she's doing the emoting, you can see the emphasis on the mouth, like the way that mouth energy stands out on the face over the eye as compared to a knee's eye. And her eyes are bright in a way, but they have that more kind of hard, woody vibe quality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting sample.
Jivy Nile Rogers.
Yep, similar.
Got the cool sunglasses.
Right. Jai V. Joseph Thompson. I guess this another Naiji previously read as.
Or Nijai, but I think it was Naiji. Yeah.
All right. So yeah.
But I really think we're starting to hone in now that Jai V scent.
Yeah, it definitely.
It'd be cool to get some ones outside of R&B as well. Speaking of which, Jai V, Roller, yep, he's awesome. That's all. So
Yeah.
he does the high, kind of like falsetto sound. You're like, oh, that's some sick shit right there.
This is IV Stromae French. Also similar to the cases we said above of Shivy.
Who was she?
I actually think, this sounds silly, but I think I had her down as a Gene-I.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see the Zine. Reminds me of Taylor Swift's face a little bit. But anyway, Ziny Alina Baikova.
Ziny.
Yeah, so I mean, she's got the mouth energy of a discernment lead, but it has that like more long, thin, tower quality to the face. And you just have this look to it. I don't know how to describe it.
She's kind of got like that Gene-I pouty look to her, but it's Ziny pouty. It's modeling, you know, I
Her
guess.
eyes don't look pierceful enough to be a Gene-I too. They're like bored.
Although they do look pretty darn like intense in a way, but not intense.
Yeah,
it's more
no,
chilly.
intense, but like they're like
Her cheeks are just not moving.
Yeah.
yeah, like they're just
The color and I think the way that she did her makeup also makes them stand out in that kind of a way too. But they're still Zai,
yeah.
like with that gauze on top of
Also,
them.
something else too. There's, as compared to some other Ziny, actually a lot of them, she has a bit of a cat-like look. Here's what picture.
Yes, that's what I was thinking, and I said I couldn't describe. Yeah,
Yeah,
Taylor Swift
feline.
was a little bit-
Mhm. Yeah. Oh.
Adserb ladies.
Ziny Henriette Barabas.
Down to Naiji.
Okay.
She connects very well with the camera.
Yeah, she does. She
Yeah, she does.
Emotiveness.
So this is Jai V. Jessica Clark. Another.
I actually had her down as a G-Vi. I saw Javez. Something about her made it like one of the right wishes. Her makeup it seemed a little harder to me. And so I veered on directed.
More bold. Yeah.
More Yang. It seemed
Yeah.
like big. But
Yeah,
I
but
believe after Javez.
I think one of the notable distinctions is that she's got more of the longer quality, not so much the pilot face. Although there are some, I think, G-Vi that I think have been read who tend to have more of like an elongated pilot face. And I think maybe that was something that could have been like, oh, I think,
Something about like when she does her eye makeup.
right.
Maybe you have more me, Charlene. You
More
see like
feline, more.
feline also like the way she kind of has done the dark lines. It's a little more
Bold yang.
bold yang. It's
Yeah,
good.
provocative, openly, boldly provocative.
Right. I definitely noticed that she has more of like a softer, adaptive quality to her. I think that comes from her just being adaptive. The Jai and the V gives her more of that kind of a look. So there's less tensioning overall in her
She
face as
also has a wide smile, but it is, I think.
Right.
Yeah, maybe she does have that longer face. Expected.
Yeah, it's like a well
unaware smile, and then the V, the pop out in the eyes, definitely.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Naiji Malgosia Bella. Gina, because the broadness of her cheeks, and also a bit of her, particularly on the right, you can see a squareness in the jaw. Bradley looking out from a perch in both those, and she's a bit far away.
Baiji Jose Carreras, he was down as Nijai.
I think so, yeah.
Right.
So shades. He also has. He happens to have physiologically like the
Well, shades of vine knee.
shades of Vianney. You're right. So shades of Vianney. Physiologically, the distance between his eyes and like his chin is a little more rounded. But of course, then if you take into account the forehead, that makes it a more elongated line. But just here from the eyes to the chin can look more. What is it? Not pixie, because that's not the right word, and usually use it for more in a female context, but a little like more how do you say, like curved or like a circle instead of oval, but then forehead it's more elongated. I think also he doesn't push as much as maybe some other Jess hunters. He has a more refrained quality to him. So he's not pushing as much, but he doesn't have an expectant, shy look either. So he does have still the piercing hunter eyes with Vi and tightness around the mouth. So Vaiji, not Nijai.
And not quite as sort of like overly directed as some.
Yeah, that's what I say. More refrained. Yeah. Yep.
Interesting. Who was this guy?
He is an Nijai, apparently.
He was out in IG actually.
So we got some me here. Anyway, Nijai George Clinton. So, yeah, he has like a.
I let how politically charged he is swearing.
What'd you say?
I think I let how politically charged his
Oh.
art is swearing.
Yeah, we know, but now we know that
confused with Bill
Nijai do that more often. Now we've had some very politically charged Nijai artists. So, yeah, his eyes, they definitely have that dancing quality. You can see there on the right better, I think. Like they're open and playful, and it's not like angry playful like the directions are sometimes looking. But I mean, angry is the best way of putting it, but like it's not as pure. But it's not camera lens. It's like that kind of more darty, vibratory knee eyes. But you can see the the just general up energy besides that, and I don't know, like comparing it. I'm trying to like think of like. I mean, I guess I don't have to, but like to some of the Vijay, because like almost I feel like that's one you probably consider, but you can see the Vi in the face a little bit.
Yep.
The kind of edginess.
Seems kind of a little bit tired.
Yeah, and it's not as like that V ripe quality. His skin is a little yin or.
Mm-hmm.
Up for dreaming.
Cool.
Here's
So,
she was down as a Nizi.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think she was
interesting.
previously read even before then as a Nizi, right? Or Vizi initially?
She was always a nice.
She was always an IZ.
Oh, a funny thing. This I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I always thought she was a Vizi, but then I thought, oh, she was actually a Nizi. Then I was like, okay, she's a Nizi. But then I was like, no, now she's a Vizi again. Okay.
yeah, that's
So I was-
interesting. I know we don't have a whole lot of like. It's pretty uncommon to have like Nez Alpha in like journalism, right? I mean, like in like political, mainstream journalism.
Yeah.
But as conservative as she is.
That's interesting. So she's this is Vizi. Oh, what? Sorry.
I was saying, getting more into this, the Vizi ladies don't tend to show up a lot in general, as we know, and particularly as a part of that, as compared to the journalistic Vaiji, but they do show up in politics as politicians and also political analysts. For example, I think that
I consider that to be generally part of journalism. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's within the same general
But
context.
it seems like a more specialized niche. For example, like she riffs me a little bit of another one I think with IZ is that Sturgit for Donald Trump, the tall blonde lady.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Sort of.
Kellyanne Conway, is that who she is?
Yeah, that's her name.
Yeah, she's IZ too, I believe.
Oh, cool. Okay, so this is Vizi and Coulter. So she's a political pundit. So yeah, I mean, I can definitely see how like she could be Resinizy. I mean, because we don't have a whole lot of like
Yeah, we didn't.
Vizi females in general. And as you mentioned, Coach, they don't tend to show up a whole lot in journalism, but as you mentioned, they do still show up in like political analysts, and much more commonly in politics. So I mean, it does make sense that there are some in here. But yeah, I mean, I can see the concern in the eyes. I can see the fact that the emoting isn't going into the cheeks And I think I can see as well the bracing energy in around her cheeks as well.
One thing I also throw in there as well, and maybe it's just because of her career path, or maybe it's a female thing, or maybe it's her area of being raised up as a child on shore. She does a lot with zingers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see her like
She
a
really
lot.
centers her dialogue with these zinger lines.
I see her a lot on like the sort of the Twitter sphere. Like there's basically
A lot of Visey males.
reports on basically very specific comments that she's made. Is quite common, and that has a lot to do with journalism. Is you'll often hear like one journalist will say like, because headlines naturally have a very limited amount of text they can put in them. So if you say a zinger, that's more likely to generate a headline because it's such a short amount of text that is really impactful.
Is a zinger like a soundbite kind of thing?
Sound bites, and also they're very memorable. You know what I mean? Provocative, and they like tight, memorable thing.
Right.
She's very like.
So this is me. I'm thinking Xeni, maybe was he read as?
Yes.
Okay, so Zevi, Roger Clemens. I think we covered the Zevi thing quite a bit. He's got the more tighter mouth, the tighter look in the eyes as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start next time.
Sounds
No
good.
worries.
So pause for today. Bam. All right. So let's say goodbye to the world real quick. Bye, world.
Bye, world.
Broadcast. All righty.